guys, it's currently 11:45. I woke up at around like 10:30, so I slept about 12 hours. Waking up like once at like 2 in the morning. That's it. So that's one thing. I'm not really noticing any difference per se, though. My face kind of looks a little less puffy. I don't know what you guys think. What do you think? Is it my color or does my face look less puffy?
I haven't really noticed from like day one.
But like, I don't know. It doesn't look, because sometimes I wake up in the morning.
Your coloring doesn't look as sharp.
Yeah, because I have discoloring. And
usually I see the discoloration, and right now I don't see it whatsoever.
Yeah, I think that could be what I'm noticing too. My face is just a little bit clearer. That's my roommate. She'll tell. Our second roommate, we just found out, is coming tomorrow. So that'll be nice. She just had the gastric sleeve surgery, so I'll be playing around making food for her. Right now, I am just about to make breakfast. Other than that, like I said, I didn't notice any extreme fog. I did wake up this morning a little foggy, but that always happens. Most of that tends to be just like a pressure in my head, like a harsh pressure, and that kind of evens out a little bit. Doesn't fully go away, but it evens out. And my eyes are always blurry when I wake up. But that's a bit better.
Esme, you're in the way.
Other than that, I'm pretty good. And the dog's playing with the cat. And yeah, so I'm just about to start breakfast, so I'll show you guys quickly what I'm making. And I'm making sweet potato hash. Ignore the bread, that's the roommate's. So I'm gonna make this with some of my breakfast sausage. So it's 1 sweet potato and some zucchini. And I am gonna add basil, summer savory, sage, thyme, and a bit of pink Himalayan salt. And I'm gonna have that. The bone broth is ready to be strained, so I'm gonna be able to have a little bit of bone broth. So that's good. And that'll be good for Christine, our roommate, too, because she had cream of broccoli soup yesterday, she said. So she's starting to...
She's having yogurts and whatnot.
Yeah, so she's almost to the...
need room for that at some point, for her yogurts and shit.
Yeah.
She's also having naked smoothies.
Yeah, well, she's almost at the soft food stage.
Yeah.
So, okay.
She's having smoothies and whatnot and yogurts.
Yeah.
Like shit.
Yeah, well, I have a juicer, and we have a blender, so we're good. Alright, so I tried to make like as little mess as I could, but there's still a little bit of stuff here and there. So I grated half a zucchini and a whole potato, and I'm gonna add some leeks and some mushrooms to this, and some garlic. What did I say? Potatoes?
You said potatoes.
Yeah, well, sweet potatoes. You can't have potatoes in the AIP. Okay. So this is what I'm gonna chop up. It's gonna make a pretty big portion from what I'm seeing here, so it'll make leftovers, which will be great. Alright, so I got some bacon cooking. No, I'm not eating all that bacon by myself.
Some of it is mine, because I like bacon. Bacon's good.
We're doing 3 slices. So on a win-win, all that oil, I'll probably remove a little bit if there's much. So once this is done, I'm going to put my sausages in there and cook them in the bacon grease. And then I'm going to leave the rest of that meat, and I'm going to use the meat fat, and leave it to flavor all of that as well. So that should be really, really good. The one thing with AIP is that you shouldn't be scared of fat, because you cut out all of your carbs. So obviously, like, you know, you can't go overboard with fat and protein. Like, you should have a larger amount of vegetables, but you can't be scared of it, because fat is basically what helps combat a lot of the mental issues with thyroid. So like the brain fog and things like that. Apparently, the high fat in the diet helps those. So you can't be scared of it. And Chantal's just yelling at my dog because my dog
likes to be in the goddamn way.
It's because there's bacon cooking, right, Esme?
The bacon,
right?
the bread that I'm eating, I'm like, fuck off.
Alright, so I drained some of the bacon grease into this container here. And then I left a little bit in there. And I'm just taking the breakfast sausage and I'm crumbling it apart, as well as cooking the leeks. Pretty soon I'll start adding the mushroom and the rest of it in there. So I'm basically going to add it in order of leeks, garlic, mushrooms, and then the sweet potatoes and zucchini and the spices. Everything's in there and I'm cooking it, trying to get it crisp a little bit on the sweet potatoes. I don't know if it'll happen or not because they tend to soften, but we shall see. It's all about experimenting. So I just strained the stock, so I'm gonna basically put the carrots back in and the bones, but first, there's a pile of meat in here, minus a few veggies there. So I'm going to pick the meat off of those lamb bones, and then I'll probably use them for something, because lamb. And also, this broth smells amazing.
Yeah, it
does. I don't know if you heard Chantal in the back, but she's like, yeah, it does. So yeah, first batch broth. And it's breakfast time. It is now 11:44. So yeah, it took me a while. This actually took a lot longer to cook to the consistency that I like it. I don't know about you guys, but when I cook potatoes or sweet potatoes, I like them very well cooked. If I get any crunchy bits, I'm like, nope, done. So, tip for my next time is maybe split the amount into two, because it took a long time to get a little bit of a char, like a crisp on the sides, and I think that was honestly because my pan was overcrowded, and stuff doesn't crisp up like that if the pan is overcrowded. So next time I'll probably split it between two. But this is literally only half of it, and this is a small plate, so that's gonna be delicious. And I also have my bone broth. I have about a cup and a half of bone broth in here. I put about a quarter teaspoon of pink Himalayan salt. I could honestly probably remove a little bit of that. And I also put spinach in it and let it wilt. And my water, because I love my water. And I love this cup too, saving the world one sip at a time. This was actually given to me at HalCon. It's a Wonder Woman cup. And I literally was just walking around the booths and this lady just gave me this cup for free at one of the booths. So I love little things like that at conventions. It's always fun. But yeah, time for breakfast. I'm starving. So time to eat. Don't mind the bike. The bike's going outside here today. That's Chantal's bike. We bought a tarp because we just moved, so like the whole place isn't fully done. We've got like the kitchen table here getting ready to get done. But let's try the hash. It was really good. I can even taste a little bit of the bacon from the grease, but like all of the other things are. So I just came home, and so he decided to pull the lamb out already. So we're each eating a little bit of the meat from it. Now it's not salted, but it's still very good.
Just for trying?
No, that is the yeah, that one. All right, so I'm gonna try the bone broth with the salt and the spinach in it. It's really good. Yep, it's really good. It doesn't taste the same as like the store-bought high salt broth, but like you can't buy something this good. That's really good. Alright, so this is a little amount of meat that I got left. You can also hear Esme begging and absolutely desperate for some, even though she got a tiny little piece. Henry, on the other hand, is being a good boy and just sitting there. Esme, sit. 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 She's so impatient. So I have the rest here. So basically throughout the week, what I am going to do is I'm going to strain it and then add a tiny bit more bones to it. And then basically, so you do that for 5 days. You don't want to do it longer than 5 days. After that, it's basically mush. And then you start all over again. It's to continuously have bone broth because you're supposed to be drinking it regularly. It has a lot of really good stuff for people with thyroid issues and for anybody actually. So that's basically what I'm doing with that. And I don't quite know what I'm going to do with this yet. I'm probably going to put a little bit of salt on them and then throw them on stuff maybe that I'm having. Alright, so we need some bones and I need to take all the meat off of this chicken. So that's what I'm going to do. Yeah, so I'm going to do that. And so that way we'll have a little bit of meat to play with for the meals for the day. Alright, I've got a few more bones in here. I've got about half the carcass here that I'm going to stick in the freezer and put back in here probably later in the week. And then I've got all the chicken here plus the lamb. So I'm going to bag these and basically in portions so that I can use them. And then the dogs are like, can I has? Alright, so I'm starting to divide the food and things. So this is 5.1 ounces. It's about 1 ounce more than a portion, but it's not like I have anything to divide it with, so I'll take it. Usually with something like this anyway, I split it between me and Al, so it's not as big of a deal. So that made 6 portions of chicken and 1 portion of lamb. So basically the fun part about these is that if I end up with too much that I don't think I'm going to eat it all throughout the week, because I don't like eating the same thing over and over again, I can freeze these. So long as they don't stay too long in the freezer, they'll be fine. So that's what I'm doing here. And now I just gotta portion off my broth and put more water in the slow cooker to make more broth. So I portioned off the stock. So there's 3 cups, and 2.5 here. And I put the apple cider vinegar in here. And then usually what I do is I let it sit for about half an hour before turning it on. And then that'll go all day. So that's wonderful broth. And then basically when I'm ready to have some, I pour a cup into one of my cups and put a little bit of Himalayan salt to it. And then if I want to add stuff to it, then I can. Alright, so I'm just sitting down, getting ready to do a little bit more video editing and hopefully finish my mock-up. For my dress. A little bit messy, like I said, we're still unpacking. So I wanted to comment a little bit about what I'm feeling here day 2. I'm still tired, but this has been, woke up at around 10, so 12, it's 1. And so it's been 3 hours. Usually after I'm up for 3 hours, I basically just want to collapse, like you saw yesterday. So I'm tired, but I'm not at that level yet, which is a huge difference, because I'm just usually so freaking tired. Another thing I kind of noticed, I felt a little bit of the head fog lift. Not as much as, you know, I still have some of it. It's like, I only feel kind of like the pressure in the back of my head. Like, basically, like with the head fog, sometimes I feel like there's like a pressure here, there's a pressure to the sides, and there's a pressure to the front. The first that left was like kind of like the side here. The tunnel vision has eased a little bit too. And it's kind of like it's just left in the back. The front eased a little bit more recently. So that's actually a big difference. Big difference. So far I'm just waiting for the withdrawal symptoms to start hitting, because I know those would be pretty, it can be pretty bad. But so far, like, I haven't felt hungry, other than like yesterday I wasn't paying attention because I was video editing, and I waited about 5 hours before eating, which is not usually what I do. Usually I eat in between and have snacks. That's how I stop myself from being hungry. But I wasn't paying attention, so 5 hours later I was like starving. But other than that, like, I haven't felt hungry. I felt comfortable, which I was really scared about, because I was like, all the carbs that I'm cutting. But, you know, like a little bit of sweet potato, that's carb. And when I can find a grater, cauliflower rice is a carb as well. So those will kind of help with that. But so far, so good. So hopefully now I can just get some of my videos updated and see how that goes, because like I said, yesterday I edited the first video, had it all done, pressed a button, lost everything. So that was a little sad. But yeah, so we're gonna keep editing. So I just finished editing the video. Al's doing dishes while I get ready to make food. So I'm having a quick snack because I'm starving. So I'm having a portion of blackberries. And then I'm going to get started on grating some cauliflower to make some cauliflower rice. This is the only grate I could find. It's my mandolin. Normally I'd use the food processor, but both my food processors warped during the move. So yeah, great. But yeah, so I'm going to get started on our meal for lunch. Alright, so I ground up some of these. This is tedious because, again, food processor is down. But that's going to be the cauliflower rice. I'm going to have that with some mushroom, some sugar snap peas, some lamb, a little bit of kohlrabi greens tossed in there, some celery, red onion, carrots, leftover zucchini, and ginger, turmeric, garlic, and a squeeze of lime juice and some soy sauce. And we will see how that tastes. So I ate about a quarter of it before I realized that I hadn't updated. But this is the finished meal. It is absolutely delicious. I ended up putting carrots, zucchini, lamb, but everything you saw was put in there. But it tastes absolutely delicious. And I mean, they say cauliflower rice tastes just like rice. I don't know if I'm overcooking it, but it doesn't really taste like rice to me. But it's still really good. And I'm enjoying this. And this is half of what I made. And it's still a big portion. And technically, if I wanted to, I could eat that whole pan. But I'm not going to. The other half's going to go down. So I just got my first craving that I would consider pretty hardcore. So I cut 2 sweet potatoes, one for me, one for Al, with the mandolin as thin as I could. And we're going to put some olive oil and some spices on them and make sweet potato chips. So I've been munching on them as I go, but I made myself little sweet potato chips. Like, some of them are crispier than others. It depends, because some of them were cooked in the Pyrex, so those are limper. And then the ones in the sheet pans are crispier. But they're very good. And I'm going to have them with some bone broth and some sausages. Hey guys, it is currently 11:05, day 3 of AIP. I woke up at 9 and I kind of started slowly making sweet potatoes, trying to make hash browns. And then I had a little bit of a mental breakdown and went back to bed and cuddled with Al for about, an hour? Huh? Yeah, so I'm not feeling the best day. Physically, I feel fine. I'm just mentally, which is probably withdrawal symptoms. I just kind of got disappointed because I had planned some stuff for a sewing challenge, and then after I paid rent, like I don't even know, like brain fog with Hashimoto's basically. For some stupid reason I had rent calculated as $100 less than it is. So basically, like, instead of having $300 to play with, I only have $200, and a good part of that is food. So yeah, I'm just kind of bummed and stressed out. And I mean, normally I'd be like, oh, whatever, I'll deal with it and stuff, but it's the hormones and everything that make it, you know, a mountain out of a anthill basically. But I'm gonna keep on trucking and work on food and stuff. Yeah, so today's a little down day, and I'm just trying to cheer up and get better. I'll probably get better later. So it sometimes takes me a few hours to cheer up, but I figure this is a video about the whole experience, so I'm not gonna hide the fact that I'm having a bad day. So yeah. So these are my little hash browns. So basically I put in my regular sweet potato mix that I really like, and I've basically perfected it, so I'll probably do a little video on like AIP spices. I'm starting to write, I have like a book, and I'm starting to write recipe ideas so that I have little cooking like recipes that I want to perfect and then share. So, because I'm gonna try to do a lot of AIP recipes. But this one basically has that spice mix, and then on top of it, it has some summer savory sage and thyme, because I'm just craving actual bread, like my mom's hash browns basically. Obviously these won't taste the same because it's potatoes, so they'll be sweeter, but hopefully they'll be good. And I'm gonna have like slices of bacon with it and some kind of veggies. I'm not sure yet what I'm gonna have on the side, but we'll figure it out. So food's ready, and I'm getting ready to go to Fabricville with Natalie, who's sitting next to me eating.
Hello.
And yeah, so big meal because I don't want to get hungry while we're out. So we ran a little late at the store, so I am at my friend's university for 2 hours in cafeteria. Yeah, anxiety. Alright, we've left the university. Natalie's out of classes. So we're heading to the corn crib to grab a few little things that I was missing. So, this is the corn crib. my local organics shop. So I'm back home. So I went to Fabricville and got fabric for some sewing projects, and then I went to the university, like mentioned, and then I went to the dollar store and got a few little things. And I have actually been looking everywhere for chips like that are AIP friendly, something that I can have as a snack. And all of the sweet potato chips, all of the vegetable chips that I found had canola oil or sunflower seed oil, which is not AIP friendly. And out of all the places that I went to that I found something was the frigging dollar store. These are plantain chips, and it's with plantains, palm oil, and sea salt. So I can have these, which is awesome. And I got like a few other little things, and including at the corn crib. I'll show you guys later. It is currently 8:44. I'm about ready to go to bed. I'm pretty tired, but I need one last meal because I only had 2 meals today. And so this one is probably the fastest thing I've made so far in AIP. I just took some bone broth and I threw in some of my cooked chicken that I had left over, some mushrooms, some spinach that I chopped up. I squeezed a little bit of lemon juice, a little bit of pink Himalayan salt, and coconut amino acids. And that's basically it. And this is the soup right here. The counter's a little bit of a mess, but let me just taste it. My glasses are a mess. Wow. Oh, that's good. I put a little bit too much salt. Next time, put the amino acids in first before salting. But that's really good. It almost tastes like miso soup, which is good because I love miso soup. So, yeah, that's good. But yeah, so this ends day 3. Like, I actually did some walking today because I was walking around with my friend Natalie at a university and stuff, and I'm tired right now, but for me this is like almost like a natural tired. Other than that, like, kind of like my mood has been a little bit like all over the place today. Other than that, everything else has been pretty good. I'm still kind of, my energy level is still a little bit more elevated than it would be normally. It's not obviously peak, but it's, you know, still up there. So, day 3 so far has been a little hard, but better than normal. And our roommate Christine just moved back in after her surgery, so she's here, so we got more company. So, which is good. So, anyway, day 3 closing out.